Everything starts with Hugo and Diego, two friends walking through a park while Diego tries to convince Hugo to go to a party and meet some girls. But this isn't just any party. It only happens once every 4 years, on February 29th. Still, Hugo doesn't seem very interested, until he suddenly notices a girl who catches his eye. He leaves Diego mid-conversation and walks toward her. Her name is Sara. She introduces herself, and Hugo uses the chance to tell her he's planning on going to that leap year party. But Sara isn't really into it. She tells him that February 29th is actually her birthday, and all she wants is a quiet day reading in the park. So Hugo leaves her be and walks away. Then the story cuts to a small bar where amateur artists perform. This is where we meet Nerea, an incredibly talented singer and pianist. She starts her performance strong, but halfway through she gets overwhelmed, starts crying, and walks off stage. Her mom comforts her and tells her everything will be okay. A few days later, Hugo and Sara run into each other again in the park. This time they talk more and get to know each other. Hugo works as a pediatric oncology nurse, and he admits the job is emotionally tough, but the good moments make it worth it. Sara explains she's a translator. They start opening up to each other, and Hugo finally gets the courage to invite her to a surprise date later that week. When the day comes, Sara shows up and realizes that Hugo also teaches sign language classes. He invites her to meet his students. At first, Sara feels a bit shy, but she quickly warms up and has a great time. Then, just being playful, she suddenly starts running so Hugo will chase her. They end up holding hands, laughing, and dancing on their way back home. At that moment, we also discover that Nerea lives in the apartment across from theirs, and she's still depressed, spending her days at the piano. Her mom keeps encouraging her to get her life moving again, maybe by giving piano lessons. Meanwhile, Hugo and Sara's relationship keeps blooming. They share their first kiss during another dance, happier than ever. Days go by, and we see Hugo at work taking care of his favorite patient, Laura, a little girl who loves airplanes. Hugo promises her that once she gets better, they'll go flying with a friend of his who owns a plane. The promise fills her with hope. Later on, Hugo takes Sara to meet his father. His dad is strict and serious, especially since Hugo's mother passed away, and he wants Hugo to pursue medicine instead of nursing. After a tense conversation, Hugo and Sara decide to leave. On the way back, Sara tries to soften things, telling him his dad just hasn't recovered from losing the love of his life. She adds that if anything ever happened to Hugo, she wouldn't know how to keep going either because she can't imagine life without him. Meanwhile, Nerea stays stuck in her emotional rut, and her mom keeps trying to push her forward. Nerea keeps escaping into her piano, and the music drifts into Hugo's apartment. Hearing it gives Hugo an idea. He decides to propose to Sara. After an emotional conversation, they have a simple wedding ceremony right there in the park where they first met, with only their closest friends as witnesses. But the happiness doesn't last long. A few days later, Hugo gets a devastating news that Laura has taken a turn for the worse and doesn't have much time left. He stays by her side until the end, then goes home completely shattered, doubting his entire career. Sara does everything she can to comfort him, but Hugo starts retreating into himself more and more, and their relationship begins to fall apart. Meanwhile, one day Nerea decides to stop by a new neighborhood music store. She meets the kind shop owner, who immediately senses she's not doing well. He gently convinces her to help out at the store and offers her a job as a sales assistant. Back to Hugo. He's drowning in grief, convinced he failed to save Laura. Even though Sara is right there for him, he won't open up, and their relationship keeps getting weaker and weaker. On top of everything else going on, Sara still hasn't gotten the chance to tell Hugo that she's been using her own savings to start her own dance school, something that only creates more distance between them. And things get even more complicated when Hugo admits he quit his job at the hospital and started working at his dad's clinic. So Sara finally decides to tell him about the dance school. But Hugo doesn't take it well at all. He practically mocks her, saying it's a good thing he's working with his dad now because otherwise they wouldn't have the money for such an expensive hobby. Obviously, that hits her hard. She gets upset, storms out, and leaves Hugo standing there. Even so, they both try to fix things. They agree to go out for dinner at the same place where amateur musicians perform, but Hugo still shows no interest in Sara's project. After a painful heart-to-heart conversation, Sara finally ends things for good. At that moment, the story jumps 1 year forward. Sara's dance school has become a huge success. Even though she's still grieving the end of their relationship, Hugo isn't doing any better. He's drowning in alcohol and completely unable to move on, especially since he remembers it's her birthday. Diego tries to shake him up, telling him he needs to move forward because Sara clearly has. Then Hugo hears Nerea's melody floating in from the window again, and he takes it as some kind of sign. He convinces Diego to deliver a note to the girl in the building across the street who plays the piano. When Nerea finds out Hugo wants to learn piano so he might win back the love of his life, she agrees to teach him. As they go through their first lessons, they start opening up to each other. Hugo finally talks about how he feels, and Nerea confesses she hasn't been okay since her father passed away. They lean on each other, and little by little, Hugo starts feeling better, emotionally and musically. The two become genuinely good friends. Nerea explains that playing piano is her true passion, but she freezes up whenever she has to perform for other people. Anxiety just shuts her down, and that's why she hasn't been able to make music her career. Later, Hugo gets hit with another emotional blow when Sara sends him the divorce papers. Realizing she's rebuilt her life and moved on, he signs them, heartbroken. But he still decides to help Nerea. So without telling her, he takes her to the children's hospital where he used to work and arranges a small concert for her to perform for the kids, because they're the only audience who won't judge her if she freezes. The idea works. Nerea loves playing for them, and the kids are amazed by her music. The experience inspires her to start recording her own songs, her own chords, her own lyrics. She thanks Hugo for supporting her those months and keeps giving him lessons so he can follow through with his plan. Sometime later, Hugo quits his dad's clinic and goes back to the children's hospital. He also gets brave enough to perform at the amateur musicians bar that same week, and he asks Diego to let Sara know, hoping she might see how much he's changed. But then we learn that Nerea has secretly fallen in love with Hugo. It creates a painfully awkward moment between them, but things shift again when Nerea gets a letter from a music label. They heard her songs and want to meet with her. Then comes Hugo's big night, the same day as Sara's birthday. Nerea cheers him on from the crowd while he plays piano, and he's flooded with memories of all the beautiful moments he had with the woman he lost. At the same time, Nerea is overwhelmed with her own feelings for him, until she sees Sara walk through the door. That's when she realizes she has to leave. But Hugo runs after her. He tells her he could never have gotten through that dark year without her, and now he wants to help her in the same way. That's when he reveals that he was the one who contacted the music label so her talent could finally be recognized, and then he gives her a plane ticket so she can go meet with them.